George Floyd just gained a few pounds moving to New Jersey. Hey everybody, welcome to the temple. My name is Monk Luigi, and here we're going to go ahead and talk about Mr. George Floyd. Now, if y'all not aware, if you looked at the thumbnail, initially New Jersey just gained a new statue in honor of George Floyd. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this article. It's a pretty short article going into this, but I have some other information I wanted to give out that's push towards the mayor, the lieutenant governor, and some of the things that I believe should be a focal point and has been a focal point going forward from 2019 to 2020. So let's just jump into the article, and then I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've pulled from my scrolls. Let's get into this. So I'm going to do a transition, and boom. If people aren't aware, a 700-pound bronze George Floyd statue has been unveiled in New Jersey. That was June 18, 2020. Newark, New Jersey. Oh, you can see it right here. Here's the statue. Sorry, I didn't go over the picture. Here's the statue with all the people surrounding it. You see, you got the mayor over here, and everybody's taking the photos, good photos, picture. 700-pound statue of Mr. Floyd. Newark, New Jersey. The city of Newark is paying tribute to George Floyd with a new statue in front of City Hall. Mayor Roz Baraka, actor and filmmaker Leon Pickney, and artist Stanley Watts unveiled the 700-pound bronze statue on Wednesday afternoon. The statue was commissioned by Pickney, sculpted by Watts, and donated this week to the city of Newark. Floyd's murder at the hands of the Minneapolis police officer last year fueled the global movement for racial justice. Hopefully, when people walk by and they see it and they participate, hopefully it inspires them to become active in the struggles that are happening right here in Newark and right here in New Jersey. Baraka said. The statue will remain outside City Hall for at least 1 year. The ceremony also honored Juneteenth. Juneteenth commemorates June 19, 1865. The Union General Gordon Granger rode into Galveston, Texas to inform enslaved African Americans of the Emancipation Proclamation and their freedom. All right? So it's pretty much a short article. If you look this up, there are many other people who did a short article in homage to the statue of George Floyd, which is 700 pounds. So I don't want to give my thoughts yet. I want to put out a little bit of this information as well, because as you can see, they mentioned the mayor, Mayor Roz Baraka. Now, if you don't know who the mayor is, the Honorable Mayor Roz J. Baraka is the 40th mayor of the city of New York. I'm not going to go into all of his history. I just wanted y'all to see the faces of the people who are representing New Jersey, and those that the denizens of New Jersey can be recognized and know who to speak to continue to push positive things into the community. Okay? So one of the things that he was nationally recognized for, as you can see here, and if you can't see that, let me increase the screen. I just didn't want to have to start off with that. Mayor Baraka is also recognized nationally as a thought leader in the space of urban revitalization and his defiance of a hostile presidential directive targeting the immigrant community with an executive order designated Newark as a sanctuary city, solidified his status as one of the county's most progressive elected officials. Mayor Baraka was educated in Newark public schools and received a bachelor's, blah, 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 and it goes on and on into his renown, okay? Him, as well as Lieutenant Sheila Olivia, who's the Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey, both of them have been doing some pretty good things in regards to Newark, New Jersey. Now, I'm saying that as the positive because initially, wait, hold on, I didn't want to show that part yet. But initially, they kicked off an initiative in June 4th, 2019, where they were launching a citywide literacy initiative for Newark. And as you can see, it says Newark Mayor Roz Baraka. If y'all can't see that, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so that way I can see the name here. They kicked off a citywide reading initiative for a mayor's book club to get the youth to start reading outside of the schools. So I think that this is an amazing thing that they pushed from last year, and the correlation to this year of a bronze statue to me, it's not that meaningful. This is something that you would think would be a more focal point of newsworthy of a story other than the 700-pound bronze statue. Now, granted, the 700-pound bronze statue was donated by the artist, right? Which is all fine and dandy. However, from all the videos that I've seen and for other people that have covered it, some of them neglected to say that this statue is only going to be there for a year. While you have programs like this, citywide reading initiatives for the Newark youth, something that's going to be long term, something that needs more attention and more energy. And I know y'all like, what do you mean? Why would something like a citywide reading initiative be something that is more of newsworthy focus, or more of an energy, attention grabbing thing? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, if you're not aware, Black students currently in the condition of education in 2020, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so that way I can see. As you can see, you see George Floyd once again being mentioned for this, as well as the Center of Public Education reports to help school leaders not only monitor educational progress of Black students, but also rethink what public schools can do better for Black students. Also follow the NCES report using the term Black or African American. The poverty rate is still highest for Black students. That's something that should be a focal point and something that should be attacked more urgently. The lack of internet access at home has also been a barrier for Black students, as you can see here. I'm not trying to go over all of the stats. I'm showing it to you. As you can see, this is something that should be more of the themes that should be on the news. Also, if people want to try to donate, should be something that should be a focal point as well. And also, one thing I really wanted that caught my attention as I looked through this article, it showed that the average salaries for Hispanics and white teachers were higher than those for Black teachers. As you can see the numbers here, Black teachers were making about an average of $56,000, while Hispanics and whites were making about $58,000 to $57,000 annually. For Asians were getting $125,000. Hispanics were making over $105,000 compared to Blacks making about $101,000. So I wanted to show this because if you're not aware, reading is a problem in our nation. And if you want to go into Jersey specifically, I have an article for that as well. The required financial literacy courses in middle schools, Governor Sheila Oliver signed a mandate for the state board to increase literacy. This is way more important, in my opinion, than a 700-pound bronze statue for New Jersey. And I think that this here should be more of a focal point as far as the things and the conditions in the news for Jersey Nights. This is just, again, my opinion, themes that are coming from my scroll in my mind. Granted, a 700-pound bronze statue, again, it's an art, it's artistics, it's styling, it's at City Hall, so maybe whoever decides to walk across it will see that and be inspired and motivated. But I think, in my opinion, that statue is meaningless. It has no value whatsoever unless you want to count the weight of the bronze, which comes up to about $1,120. So other than that, that statue, this wonderful statue, granted, it looks nice, it's beautiful, it's a great aesthetic, but to me, that pales into comparison to literacy courses and financial aid that can be helped and pushed through Newark, New Jersey, that should be a focal point. Mind you, the lieutenant governor and the mayor, they've been around for a while, and they've attempted and tried to go ahead and take financial compensation and push it towards these themes. I actually have an article, if a lot of people aren't aware, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this article, and I didn't know this either until it was brought to my attention from ABL. Mark Zuckerberg once made $100 million investment in a major U.S. city to help fix its schools. Now the mayor says the efforts parachuted in and failed. Now I don't know why it failed. I'm not sure why like $100 million wasn't able to help and assist in our reading nationally, especially in Newark, New Jersey. So as you can see here from this article here, where it goes into 2017, the graph that I'm showing you currently is the average reading scores, proficiency. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so that way I can see the numbers here. But yeah, blacks and Hispanics are about 35 to 49, while everybody else is at a greater reading proficiency at either 83 or even higher, okay? And to break it down between males and females, from race and ethnicity, and those who are eligible and not eligible for lunch school programs, okay? All of these links that I am showing you, I will be putting in the description box so that way you can take a look at them yourself. But back to the Mark Zuckerberg article that I showed you earlier. If you scroll down just a little bit in the first 3 bullets, the first people you see here is BAM! Newark Mayor Ras Baraka. BAM! Now, initially during that time frame, I believe it was in 2018, that's where the article was made. Around 2018, the Newark mayor then was Cory Booker, and the governor was Chris Christie. Now, the new governor, I forgot the name of the new governor of New Jersey. It's a new person there, which is phenomenal. And then you got the new lieutenant governor, who's Miss Sheila Oliver. I think the governor is Phil Murphy. Phil Murphy. So the governor of New Jersey currently is Mr. Honorable Phil Murphy, and the lieutenant governor is Sheila Oliver. And you got your mayor right here, is Ras Baraka. So all of these people here are the people that I think should be highlighted more in the news, as well as the focal point of what initiatives that they're pushing forward in Newark, New Jersey. Now, again, like I said, a bronze statue. It's a 700-pound bronze statue. Yeah, it's going to inspire people to some degree to be like, okay, the black community may be hurting in some form, shape, or way. How can I help? I think that with the 700-pound statue, they should have put some of the initiatives that the governor and the mayor and the lieutenant governor are pushing towards the black community. And the reason why, because that would also inspire other people to try to get more involved and know about the certain programs and the themes that they're pushing out for the Jersey Knights. But that's just my thoughts as far as that. The bronze statue is really nothing without the substance that comes behind it. Because a lot of people are so focused on George Floyd and everybody's screaming about reform, but they're not also adding in all of the programs and the initiatives that they have and they're trying to put in place for the communities. They're not also informing other people about these programs. A lot of people are so stuck in this mindset that they're screaming out loud, they're asking and they're yelling and they're rapping that say they're asking for help and not realizing that there are certain programs now currently established or are getting established to help the poorer communities as well as the black communities. So my thoughts, bronze statue, nothing. But what the mayor and the lieutenant governor are doing behind the scenes, that should be spotlighted more. But hey, maybe I'm off base. Maybe the statue alone is enough to inspire people to go looking for all of the programs that are out there. Maybe I'm hitting this when it's coming to a short stop, and the short stop being that the bronze statue is just enough. Or maybe I'm knocking it out the park with the statue plus the programs and initiatives should be incorporated together as a story if you want to go ahead and propel people to want to remember George Floyd's name. In fact, thought that comes to my mind, maybe they should make a George Floyd scholarship or grant for those who are black or people of color to be able to go to college. Or maybe there should be a fund so that way the kids who are falling behind or failing nationally across our nation, because it's the lowest currently for boys all over, but it's specifically lower for black male boys. And black girls they're doing fine. I'm not saying they don't need assistance, but for the black community as a whole, maybe there should be a George Floyd grant. So that way we can help the teachers, the black teachers, get more pay and better education for those who are in the 8th grade, the 9th grade, and the 10th grade. And all of the articles that I showed you, granted, I showed you clips of it, but if you do take the chance to click on any of those links that I show you in the description box below, hopefully you can take something from it. But hey, that's just my thoughts coming from the temple about this 700-pound Floyd statue. Thank you all for coming to the temple. My name is Monk Luigi, and this L is for you.